Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to my review of the Zhalo Supercell Exotic Auto Rifle. This gun literally feels like you have a mini Thunderlord in the palm of your hands, and it's a primary, guys. It's an awesome auto rifle with some half-decent stability on the lower end range, high rate of fire, lower end damage, but a lot of interesting perks that make it viable in more than just certain situations. Out of the 3 different barrel types you can choose, aggressive ballistics is the one that changes the gun the most dramatically, increasing the impact while simultaneously very minorly decreasing the range and really gutting the stability. So if you can handle some really crazy aiming, then using the aggressive ballistics for the extra damage would be ideal. In fact, it shares a lot of similarities with the Monte Carlo. Stat for stat, this gun is very similar. However, in a lot of ways, it is inferior to the Monte Carlo, as the Monte Carlo has a lot of the range and a lot of the stability that this gun just doesn't have unless you mod it properly, but then you lose damage at the same time. So here's a little comparison of that. As you can see, stat for stat, the impact and the rate of fire are equal. At least the impact is the same while using aggressive ballistics. When you're not using aggressive ballistics, you lose 4 impact, and that is a lot of damage lost. Now, the most unique thing about this gun is the way it looks. Its shape is reminiscent of something straight out of World War II or Vietnam, and I love it. The way you aim down iron sights when you're fighting somebody, the sound, it sounds awesome. It sounds like an old school machine gun, kind of like an AK-47 in a way. The Zhalo Supercell main ability are the arc projectiles that have a chance to chain lightning between enemies that are close together. In short, when your bullets do chain in between enemies, it does a fraction of the main damage overall, so around 20 to 30%. You won't notice it getting a lot of kills, however it can score you extra assist bonus points in Crucible, and can be good at taking down swaths of weak enemies that do not have overshields of any kind, or have arc shields, either way. In the first column, a lot of your perks basically either give you a lot of extra stability and a little bit of extra range at the cost of a lot of your impact. So that's where persistence, this perk, comes into play. The longer you fire, the more accurate the gun gets. So this means about halfway along the clip, you will find your fire is being stabilized and it is easier to control. So that is why I personally stick with the higher impact, low stability. The third column gives you a lot of options in regards to having extra stability, extra range, or having a ton of extra stability and reload at the cost of a lot of your range and a lot of your magazine. And since you burn through your magazine, I honestly would not recommend braced frame. So that is why I would choose either rifled barrel for the bunch of extra range, or hammer forge so that you don't lose anything too bad. Now, the other main perk for this gun is bolts from the blue, and double kills with this weapon charge a small amount of super and return ammo to the magazine, and this can be very, very useful in PvE. Against a large mass of weaker enemies, you will see your super bar just charge all the way up, and you won't lose a lot of ammo doing so either. However, trying to pull off the double kill on wizards that have the fire overshields, or anything that isn't arc based, and you'll find that you just will not get a lot out of this perk unless you're using it against a bunch of weak enemies that are all standing right next to each other, because the bullets will arc between all of them, potentially nailing you doubles and doubles of kills. In PvP, you won't notice that perk really much at all, only because it takes around half a clip of pure headshots to down any one person. And since not a lot of people stick close together, it can be exceedingly hard to land a double kill because assists don't count. That's not to say the Zhalo Supercell doesn't do well in PvP, because it does. It's a very serviceable auto rifle. Like I said, it acts a lot like the Monte Carlo if you were to strip away some of the range and some of the stability, but also give it some perks that make it excel towards a lot more PvE-esque AoE situations where you have to deal with larger crowds and you want to take care of all of them, much like you would a heavy machine gun. At close range in PvP, if you use aggressive ballistics, you'll be doing around 20 to 21 damage per headshot, which means you can down somebody in 9 to 10 headshots, which is pretty fast. It's right around the 1 second mark, maybe a little faster, maybe a little slower, but it's definitely definitely up there as far as, I mean, it's not a Last Word or a pre 2.0 Thorn or a Hawkmoon, but you know, like I said, it's serviceable. Around mid-range though, you'll see the damage fall off rather fast, and your headshots will be doing around 15 to 16 damage, which means you'll be putting a lot more in. So it is preferably used close range only. If you're serious about the Crucible at all though, you'll be using something else that has perks that will help you in a way that this gun just doesn't quite help. I mean, it's good, like I said, it can be good in specific situations, but it's not the end-all be-all best auto rifle that you can be using. But that only applies to the Crucible because in PvE this gun shines as a machine, destroying large groups of enemies, decimating anything that has an arc-based shield, and is generally fun to look at, use, and listen to. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Zhalo Supercell exotic auto rifle. I hope you guys get one as well. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It really helps out my videos. And don't forget to comment if you're not feeling too shy. Well, I'm going to hop back in game, and I hope you guys have a good one.
Secure. Heavy ammo inbound.